I'd taken a wrong turn on one of the motorways, and it sent us to a town or a part of West London where we had once lived. And I remember the street, the name of the street, and the city. So I'm driving this rental car with my wife, telling her the story of this house that was sitting right below a big reservoir. And so the reservoir had a huge hill behind the house of about maybe 50, 60 feet. And then up on the edge of that hill, there was a hut. And for a 5 or 6 year old, that hut, was very mysterious to me. And what I remember of that time, there was only a couple of things that I can remember. But one time we were very friendly with the neighbor, and the neighbor would do. He had a well in the back of his house. He had a big 25, 30 foot pole, and he would put that into a hole in his garden, and he would show us, how far down this pole was going and what level the water was. I'm not sure if it was related to the fact that we lived right next to a reservoir or not, but he seemed to check the level of that water quite often. But he always told me, he would lean in and he would say, "Gary, you never go up to that hut because that's where the wolf lives." And he scared the living daylights out of me. I never wanted to know anything about that hut because that's where danger was. That's where the wolf lived. And so I was recanting this story to my wife driving through this part of London when we noticed that we were driving next to a reservoir. And sure enough, we came right up on these three little semi-detached houses. And I looked right up behind the houses and could clearly see the hut. And that was the house that I lived at whenever I was a kid, maybe 5 or 6 years old at the most, probably younger actually. Uh, isn't that amazing? What are the odds of that? Driving around, telling your wife the story of the wolf that lives in this mysterious hut, and actually seeing the house where you had once lived, and noticing the reservoir's still there, obviously didn't move. And this is since maybe 1971. That was the time I think that we were there. Anyway, I wanted to tell you that story because I thought it was so ironic.